Absolutely, one of the most common problems we see in our office is a problem between the L4 and L5 in the lower back. Now, when you look at someone's spine, this is their pelvis. This is a spine that's looking in that, the person's looking in that direction. And in between each of the bones of the spine, these are called vertebrae, is a spinal disc or an intervertebral disc. And these discs are like little cushions that are supposed to be there to protect the bones from touching one another. And one of the common things that you see for most people when they start getting into their 40s and 50s is a degeneration of the L4. Now, the reason this happens is because the L5 vertebrae, often because of a lot of twisting of our body, the vertebrae start to actually be pushed backwards. And when there's too much rotational movement, it produces a tremendous amount of strain on the discs. Because there's limited mobility of rotation at the L5, we tend to see most of the excessive rotation at L4 and L5. And when you do something too much, it starts to decay and degenerate. And that's why very often patients will come in and have degeneration of the fourth and fifth vertebrae. The way to really solve this is two things. The first is the L5 vertebrae has to be pushed forward. The adjustment that we do is not designed to rotate the spine more, but rather to arch it and push it forward. And we do that by going to the back side of the spine, and these are the bumps that you can actually feel yourself on your spine. And we take our fingertips or an instrument, or usually our hands is the most common, and we will apply pressure to this part of the spine to push the bone forward. When the L5 vertebrae actually is in alignment with the bottom bone called the sacrum, there is very little rotation of the spine. And therefore, then there's a less compensation reaction in rotation of the L4 and L5, and it can slow down that degenerative process. That's step one. So step one is you have to get that L5 pushed forward underneath the L4. The second thing is to do stabilization exercises, and what you don't see here are the intricate layers of muscle on each side. Now, most people think that the muscles are requiring you to move, and the muscles are designed to be super strong. And actually, for most daily life, you don't want super strong muscles. What you want are muscles that can sustain a contraction for long periods of time to hold our posture up. So what we do is we do exercises that increase the endurance capacity of the muscles to hold yourself up. So by adjusting the L5 vertebrae, by strengthening the muscles in the form of endurance of the spinal muscles and keeping things stable, you can very often slow down and stop that degenerative process from occurring at the L4, L5. Hopefully this is a good explanation of why we see these common injuries.